We're live.
Oh, we're live.
What's up, cocksuckers?
Baby.
All right. So this is the Bryce Eating season. Oh, Bryce Meeting season. Sorry. Post game, and what we're gonna do this week is a little bit different than what we've done previously, where we just kind of ask the remaining questions. We didn't have any remaining questions this week, so we're going to tell some stories that we found on the internet of famous professional athletes. And I'm going to let My Sock Summer kick it off. He's going to be on the Ditka tip.
The Ditka tip. All right, true story. He was doing his signing for some of his god-awful smokes at a cigar shop in Western Massachusetts a few years back. He reeked of Jim Beam and Slim Jims. And a half hour in, he decides he needs a break from signing autographs for the 11 people there to drop sticks. 17 minutes later, he's back. And a waft of shit immediately. Fills the room. Evidently, he flushed and didn't stick around to realize it had overflowed under the door. Now people are panicking because the water just kept running out onto the floor. The shop owner is doing damage control, yelling to one staff to get it fixed ASAP. And there's Ditka yelling, "Don't look at me! I just took a goddamn piss." Despite it being a one-person capacity bathroom that he just walked out of a second earlier. Cheers to you, Coach.
Oh, my God.
Motherfucker.
Cheers, Coach.
I mean, goddamn.
Dude, that's amazing.
How you going to drop sticks? Just roll out.
I just
pissed. Hey,
I love the term drop sticks. It's amazing.
Beef,
go ahead. All right, this is from, I pulled this from Larry Brown Sports blog. It says, the wildest Charles Haley penis and masturbation stories. Charles Haley's the only player in NFL history to win 5 Super Bowls. He was a tremendous player, and he was inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2015. But the lesser-known aspects about him have to do with his penis, masturbation habits, and other disturbing behaviors from his playing days. Here's how nutty Charles Haley was. An excerpt from Jeff Pearlman's excellent book about the 1990s Cowboys, Boys Will Be Boys. The reputation started with the penis, a fire hose of an organ that brought Haley more pride than any game-winning tackle. As he grew comfortable in the 49ers locker room, Haley would stroll up on an unsuspecting teammate, whip out his phallus, and repeatedly stroke it in his face. Players initially laughed it off, but Haley refused to stop. He would jerk off in the locker room, in the trainer's room. He'd wrap his hand around his penis, turn towards Joe Montana or John Taylor and bellow, "You know you want to suck this," or "You wish you had this, baby." Charles used to beat off in meetings while talking graphically about players' wives, says Michael Silver, who covered the 49ers for the Santa Rosa Press-Democrat. It got to the point of ejaculation. Haley was socially awkward and unflinchingly vicious.
Oh, shit.
He'd been prescribed medication to treat manic depression, but would take his pills one day and then skip the next 2 or 3 days. Haley once exposed himself to reporter Ann Killian of the San Jose Mercury News, a pathetic attempt at gender intimidation. He rarely passed up the opportunity to verbally pounce on teammate shortcomings, an ugly child, a protruding mole, a lisp.
Wait. He bashed an ugly kid?
Yes. Charles was a great player, says Dexter Fowler, the former 49ers running back, but there was only so much a man can tolerate. Once he got going, the words flew from Haley's mouth as if they were shot from a Browning .50 caliber machine gun. Anyone effeminate was a faggot. African-American players who became close with coaching staff were house niggers and Uncle Toms.
Jesus.
Whites were honkies, and Hispanics were spics. A joke Haley told with particular brio. What do a Hispanic and a hotel have in common? A mop.
Oh.
Twice his racial barbs resulted in fights with 49er teammate Jim Burt, former New York Giant Jim Burt, a white defensive lineman who decked Haley both times.
You really took that one off the rails.
Right off the rails.
So we're going to get back into the more humorous nudity of players. A guy that I've always heard crazy shit about. I looked him up today. to see if I could find an article about him. Brian Giles. So this is actually a USA Today article about Brian Giles and Marcus Giles being on the same team at the same time. This is how the article starts. San Diego Padres right fielder Brian Giles, in the shower after a morning workout, steps out and screams for his brother. Marcus, hurry up and get in here. Chris is in here. Marcus Giles, 7 years younger than Brian, yells, "Oh boy," strips his clothes and is showering within seconds. Minutes later, Padres pitcher Chris Young is red-faced and out of the shower, still shaking his head. Chris Young quote, "You get nervous when you see these guys come into the shower. Let's put it this way. You definitely don't close your eyes in there, even when you're shampooing." So just what happened in there to make Young flee as if one of the Giles boys pulled a fire alarm? We just like to shave in there, Brian says, referring to their body hair, not their faces. Chris, for some reason, thinks that is gross.
All right. I got another Dicka. Right? Me?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah. All right. My grandfather, this is not me, this is somebody else's story. My grandfather played in a golf tournament in the Chicago Burbs years ago, probably mid-90s. Dicka was some sort of celebrity guest at a tournament and was playing in the group behind Pop Pop and his buddies. My grandpa's foursome, being men of a certain advanced age who stockpile golf balls like they cost $100 a piece, have a habit of driving the carts very slowly along the edge of each hole that is lined by woods, looking for and picking up lost golf balls in the brush. After about 3 holes of this, Dicka apparently came peeling up in a golf cart with 5 boxes of new Titleists. He handed them to my grandfather's partner without leaving his cart and said, through a clenched cigar, "These are for yous, but yous can't look for any more fucking golf balls in the fucking woods." Then drove away without waiting for a response. Friendly coach.
A little more on our friend Charles Haley. It doesn't just end there. There are more tales about the disgusting Haley. Via the New York Post. From page, this is excerpt from the book that I mentioned previously. From page 115, on his first day at Valley Ranch, Haley arrived in the conference room for a defensive film session dressed only in a towel. The next thing you know, Charles is laying naked on the floor in front of the screen, entertaining himself, said teammate Tony Casillas. Haley quickly earned high praise as one of the league's dominant quarterback killers and as one of the most imbalanced. Once Haley wrapped an ace bandage around it and strolled around the locker room screaming, "I'm the last naked warrior." What's that? You say you want more? There are more tales of the last naked warrior. Once in a team meeting, Haley came back from the bathroom, pulled down his shorts, wiped his ass, and threw his poopy toilet paper at 49ers linebacker coach John Marshall. During another team meeting, Haley whispered to teammate Scott Case, "Scott, turn around. I got to show you something. Scott, damn it, turn around. You need to see this." When Scott Case turned around, according to Perlman, he saw Haley's erect penis stretched across the desk. Absolutely disgusting.
The Charles Haley shit is just very disturbing. All right.
Not in the Me Too world, that man.
No.
From the same USA Today article. They filmed a series of commercials Monday night that was supposed to last no more than 30 minutes. It took nearly 2 hours. It began with Marcus, a second baseman, saying it was cool having makeup applied to their faces. "I haven't done this since I was 5, back when I wanted to be a girl." It ended with Brian dropping his pants and jumping on Marcus, with the two giggling uncontrollably until the cameras stopped. No wonder the Padres made sure pitcher Jake Peavy filmed his role for the commercial earlier. A year ago, when Brian Giles was in a commercial with Mike Piazza, the scene was never the same after Brian Giles ran out of the bathroom naked and jumped in front of Piazza. I can't imagine what it's going to be like with 2 Gileses around this year, says Padres general manager Kevin Towers, who who signed Marcus to a 1-year, $3.25 million deal in the offseason after the second baseman was cut loose by the Braves following 6 seasons in Atlanta. I'd be in Bruce Bochy's office having a serious meeting with Brian, and Brian would come in there fully naked, showing his batting stance, the GM says. He's normal except for the tanning booths, shaving the body, and walking around with no clothes. One Giles is enough. I'm not sure I can handle 2 of them. This sounds like boys having a fun time.
That's right, yeah.
You know? Brian Giles is the guy that would be completely naked when a rookie was being interviewed and just sidle up right next to them as they're doing their first interview. And then he did the same to Greg Maddux when they brought Maddux in. So he's a special kind of guy.
Yes.
All right, let's close it out with a Ditka.
This is the best Ditka story that lives among the internets. Yeah, it's good. I'm going to try to make through it without laughing. We'll see if I can do it. Let's see. A friend was a waitress years ago at his Chicago steakhouse. God damn it. I did it 2 times. Coach was eating in-house one night with a group of male friends, and although she was 2 weeks new and hadn't met him yet, she got the call to wait on his table, which we all have discussed that this is not a fucking fake thing, right? Like, he has pissed off everybody, so this sport he gets the do-girl. She grew up in Schaumburg and loved Ditka. Friend, this is such an honor. I'm such a huge fan. It's so great to wait on you guys tonight. Ditka takes the car out of his mouth, looks up at her, and takes a 10-second pause. Ditka. Finally, without smiling, can I eat your pussy? This is a true story.
Clutch. That's the clutch right there.
I just see him smiling, maybe with some like salad dressing on his face. He's like, "Can I eat your pussy?"
This is just 20 minutes of people are fucked up.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for sticking around for the post game. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
We're the 108.
Yes.